Okay, our speaker is a distinguished medical professional specializing in breast imaging, serving as a consultant in one of Makati's most prestigious hospitals, as well as in her hometown in Batangas, that's south of Manila. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Wow, breast imaging. That must be intense. Well, yes, it is. But don't worry, tonight's talk won't require any lab coats or ultrasounds, just open minds. And please take down notes or take screenshots. Okay, let's move a little back in time, okay? It was in 2018 that she joined Avita. Her family had been battling autoimmune disease, and Avita offered something more than just supplements. It offered hope. And let's be honest, when a doctor finds hope in a wellness platform, you know it's worth paying attention. Okay, as she explored Avita further, she discovered not only a path toward healing, but also a powerful opportunity to build passive income and reclaim true freedom of time. By 2020, she became a platinum director. That's an unnamed shareholder within Avita. And with that milestone, her vision expanded. Avita business became more than just a business. Okay, it became a mission-driven platform where she could extend her impact beyond breast imaging, embracing preventive wellness and empowering others in both health and wealth. Okay, so today she continues to pay it forward, okay, building a team of like-minded individuals, including fellow doctors, friends, loved ones, and anyone open to exploring the possibilities with her. In my case, I was set on getting the family package. I knew I needed that volume for my mom's sustained use. So how did I end up with a direct GA instead? Well, let's just say our speaker, my upline, used some pretty effective closing techniques on me. Okay, so her journey is a testament to the three P's: purpose, passion, and the power of community. Now let's talk about tonight's topic. That's effective closing. We all know that presenting creates awareness because it opens the door. But it's the closing that creates results. Okay? It's the moment when someone goes from, interesting, to, okay, sign me up. And let's be real, closing isn't about being pushy. We're not here to do the hard sell. You know, the kind that makes people suddenly remember an imaginary appointment or pretend their phone is ringing just to escape. It's about serving with conviction, guiding people to take that next step toward better health, greater freedom, and lasting transformation. So, if you've ever felt that panic after a presentation, like, okay, now what? Tonight's your chance to learn how to turn that moment into magic. Let's open our hearts, minds, and notebooks and welcome Dr. Mary Angeline Recto, or Doc Angie as we fondly call her. Okay, take it away, Doc.
Wow, thank you, Net, for your warm introduction. Isn't our MC PD Nanette great? Yeah, it's her first time and she's doing well. So let's send her some love. So when one of our leaders, DP Shuling, actually asked me to if I could share on effective closing, I had to pause and think, am I really good at it? Because like many of you, I had my ups and downs, and closing was always been the hardest for me. But along the way, I've learned that closing isn't about perfection, and it's a learning curve, and that the more we practice, the more we become confident and natural our closing becomes. So today, I'll be sharing how we can all do effective closing. So get ready as I walk you through. And before I begin, I'd like to share with you a short video clip about playing baseball. I choose baseball as an analogy to sales because when I was a child, I used to play baseball in our place in Batangas. And I remember that after hitting the ball, with the bat, I had to run first base and then go to second base, third base before I could make a home run. So I see a connection between baseball and how we do sales closing. So let's watch together this short clipping.
In baseball, a home run doesn't count unless the batter touches all of the bases as he heads for home. In baseball, a home run doesn't count unless the batter touches all of the bases as he heads for home.
So do you agree? Who among you agrees that sales is a lot like baseball, where you need to touch every base before you finally reach the home run? So can you please type yes in the chat box if you agree? This is to show you why sales is a lot like baseball. In baseball, the player's ultimate goal is to score a home run, right? But no matter how far you hit the ball, you can't just run straight to the home base. You must touch every base before finally reaching home. In sales, the home run is actually the closing of the sales, no? And yes, most of the time we cannot skip the step that leads to closing, like prospecting, building trust and rapport and presentation, unless there's an exception. You already have the trust and rapport of the prospect, where you can do shortcut from trust and rapport to closing. So what is an effective closing? It's a skillful process of guiding someone to make a purchase decision. In simple terms, effective closing means convincing someone to finally say yes to take action. Like it may be like buying our products like Cellergen, Life Biotics Plus, or signing up for membership in Avita, or agreeing to the offer that you are giving in a way that feels good for them and for you as well. So are you familiar with the seal the deal? This one. So this is exactly what closing sales is about. So can you raise your hand if ever you lost a sale because you didn't know how to close? Has anyone experienced that? So I'm raising my hand too. Yeah, can you raise your hand? Yeah, me too. Yeah. It happens to all of us, and we've all been there. But there's a good news. Today, we're going to talk about how to make closing easier, more natural, and something you'll feel confident in doing. So why does effective closing matters? First, closing is the yes moment where the value of the product is fully realized by your prospect. So without closing, they will never see how it can help them. And we miss the opportunity to serve them. Next, weak closing leads to lost sales and missed opportunities. Actually, many sales are lost not from a bad product or a bad presentation, but simply from weak closing. I remember back when I was just starting, I was too shy to close. Just like what our MC PD Nanit said, I didn't want to be pushy or appear pushy. My ending question would always be like, do you have any questions? Or let me know if you're interested, whether it be in Zoom or in person. Good if the person has a question, because it's a good signal, buying signal. But most of the time, when I ask those questions, people will say, none, I'm good. Or I think I'll get back to you. Or I'll think about it, I'll get back to you. So no decision was made. And after I follow up, like 24 hours or weeks would pass, still no reply. And that simply vanished. And that's when I realized week closing often looks polite. Maybe because that's how my parents raised us, to always be respectful. But in reality, it leaves the decision unfinished. The prospect may have been ready, but without your guidance, they walk away with good intentions. So I learned that if I don't lead the conversation to a clear close, I leave the door wide open for people to walk away. And most of the time, they do walk away. Closing is what gets you paid. When we do presentation, it builds awareness, but it's the closing that creates results, that you only earn income or hit a target when someone actually buys or sign ups or commits to you. And the last one is it drives growth and builds momentum for your team, just like what happened in Team Lana. So here are some of the guide questions you can use, no, not to pressure, but to gently lead your consumer towards a clear decision and a confident yes. So the first one is, does this sound like something that would work for you right now? Um, like example of this is based on your view right now, or are you ready to get started today while the promo packages are extended? Another one would be, would you prefer to get the youth package or the family package? Or shall we go ahead and place your order while the promo package price is extended? Another one would be, would you like to lock this in today so you don't miss out the promotion ending, for example, on October 31? Or should we set up for delivery or pickup, whichever is convenient for you? We wish that every prospect would say yes after one closing, right? But in reality, many will hesitate, say no, or ask for more time. And that's where persistence comes in. Thank you, PA Joe. I got to know this through your talk last year. And this chart shows you how quickly many salespeople give up, the one in blue, versus how few salespeople persist in red to the fifth attempt. So here you can see that 44% of salespeople give up after just one follow-up attempt. And this highlights how frequently salespeople miss the opportunity by not following enough. And then you can see here that only 8% persist beyond the follow-ups. That means the rest, like the 92%, stop before the fifth attempt. The lesson here is simple. Persistence is the key. Many consumers needs time and trust before they say yes. Many sales are won not because of the first try to close, but because they didn't stop trying. So if you give up too soon, you lose the chance. But if you are consistent and caring, you'll be among the few who win. So let's be part of the 8% who persist and win while others quit. So persistence is what keeps you in the game. But what actually makes you win the game are the behaviors you bring into the closing, or into the every closing conversation. And these are the core behaviors of effective closers, which I believe is important for us to know and apply. First is to have courage to ask. Closing always begins with courage. It means being willing to guide the consumer towards a decision, even if it feels uncomfortable. It's not about being pushy. It's about caring enough to help the consumer decide. Many of the people stop short because they fear rejection, or they fear the no as an answer. But remember, if you don't ask, you'll never hear the yes. I'll be honest, that's something I struggled with a lot in the past, as I've mentioned. So have the courage to ask and close, and have the mindset of what I learned in the Big Al, that of me helping people to better their lives, health, and wealth. It's not about selling. At least you have shared with them and given them the option, and the decision is theirs. The second is persistence to close. This is what I mentioned in the chart. So my advice is keep trying to close until you find the right moment. Professionalism is about how you carry yourself. It's showing like respect for your consumer. Example, when they ask me to do presentations or workshops, I make sure I keep my promises. Like I come in prepared, not only for the talk itself, but also remind my associates to bring like, for example, the little things like the hard copies of the 5 page after or send a soft copy to bring samples too of our products, basic things like paper, pen, calculator. Yeah. So even that I tell them. So aside from that, professionalism means listening more than talking and treating the person as your partner rather than just a transaction or as a deal. This is actually where you build a trust so that consumers feel that they are in good hands. So my tips are keep trust intact, stay respectful, ethical, and consumer focused. Last, we have the confidence. So ask with confidence as it's the energy that reassures the consumer. A confident tone makes the buyer feel secure in their decision. If you're unsure about your product or hesitant in your words, the consumers will sense it immediately. So my comment is, if you're not sure, is to say, I'll get back to you. Or better if you're just new to Avita, to bring along your upline or your team to do this while you are observing and learning as well. This is what I did when I was just new in Avita. I bring with me DP Genie and strategize with DP Tengi. So if you're confident about the product, the company, that confidence will radiate to others. And people don't just buy the product. They're actually buying you. So take note of that. People don't just buy the product, they buy you. So sales, just like baseball, behaviors are the character of the player. Your courage, persistence, professionalism, and confidence. But character alone doesn't win the game. To actually score, you need the skills, which are the actions and techniques to make the play. I spend time with my upline leaders, our, our DPs like DP Tengi, Genie, and attend to empowerment nights like this today, where I also learn from our global leaders who've been there and have done it. And from them, I learned the core skills of effective closing. I will just run with you the following, but I'll focus on the spotting the buying signals and closing techniques. So here are some of the core skills of effective closing. So first, we have the active listening. Active listening is more than just hearing words. No? You have to pay attention to what your consumer is really saying. And then asking questions, I mean the right questions, how to guide the conversation. So this one, if you're good at this, you will be able to uncover what your consumer really wants, what's holding them back, and what matters to them to make the decision. Then next we have the spotting the buying signals is about knowing the right moment to close. So we'll go into the buying signals in more detail shortly. But for now, remember, it's all about catching the cues and acting at the right time. Timing is very important. And then handling these objections is not actually arguing. It's about understanding. So here, your consumers raise their concerns. It means that they're interested but not yet convinced. So if you can listen, respond with empathy, and give clarity, objections becomes an opportunity for you to build trust. So one of the ways I do this effectively is by the one that was taught to us before, the 3 Fs, the feel, felt, found. For example, when a consumer says this to me, Doc Angie, that's too expensive. And I respond, yeah, I understand how you feel. I actually felt the same way when I first know the price. So But I found the solution for my health. I finally was able to sleep better, had more energy, felt stronger, and the whole family is now taking it. In the end, the benefits far outweighs the costs. And then next is presenting value. Presenting means showing the consumer what's in it for them. People just don't buy the products, they buy the solutions, as I mentioned. And then second to the last is the closing techniques, which are practical ways you guide a consumer to say yes. And there are different approaches for these different situations. And with the right closing techniques, you give the consumer a clear and an easy next step. So we'll dive deeper into this towards the latter parts. And then lastly, we have follow up, staying consistent until the yes. So let's now focus on one of the most important core skills, which is spotting the buying signals. So consumers often drops like little signals or cues that they are ready to say yes. So experienced salespeople know how to interpret and respond to them, meaning they know how to spot them. That's why we need to be very mindful because if you miss the signal that your consumer is ready, you'll also miss the chance to close. In Tagalog, it's sayang or wasted. There are two types of buying signal. Okay, first we have the verbal buying signals. This is the easiest to catch. Why? Because they're most obvious. These are spoken cues that show interest or intent to purchase. So you just have to be mindful when you hear these verbal buying signals. And then we have the non-verbal or non-language is what we call the body language or actions that indicates their interest to buy. So here are some of the language, examples of the language or verbal buying signals. So first we have the detailed questions. So the first three are kind of straight away. So the first is detailed questions. When prospect starts asking specific questions about the supplements, like if you hear them ask, what are the ingredients, the dosage, possible side effects, or is there an overdose? It's a strong sign that they're really seriously interested and they're just evaluating if the product fits their needs. The second one is expressing urgency. When someone says things like, how soon can we start? Sellergen, for example, or when can I get this promo package of the QS hair wash? Do you have the goods now? It's a clear sign that they're ready to buy and they want it fast and they're excited to get started. And then delivery questions like, can you ship it to my place in Manila? How about in Cebu or Palawan? How much is the delivery fee? All these are expressing urgency of buying. And the third one, we have the ownership language. When someone talks about how the supplement can help with their own health issues, it means they're ready picturing themselves using it. So when you hear them say like, when I get this, will my sleep problem be okay na? I would answer yes. That's the one very reason I continue to take Celergen. Or you may hear them say, oh, I'll use it to boost my immune system, especially now my kids are sick. As if they already own it. So this is a strong buying signal. The next one, I know you also frequently encounter this, no? Actually, about the price, the promos, the payment option, it's a strong sign that they're thinking of buying and just want to know how it will fit their budgets. This one, the negotiation attempts, I experienced too a lot, trying to work out payment plans and what promo packages to get. Here, usually I suggest if they are budgeted to consolidate so you can get the family or gold package. Example, I did this with my team. If they really like to get the GA as it's a win-win, I guide them by saying, on you can consolidate three family packages to get the gold package. So come, let's talk. Who can be these two other possible people you know from your name list who can get started as a family package or who will get a family package. So let's strategize. So I guide them as a leader. Next, we have the commitment language, statements that locks in the intent, such as, I'll need this before Saturday. So how do I respond to that? I can have it delivered before Saturday. Just deposit the payment to this bank account, for example, SIPH, Enterprises OPC, and send to me the bank transaction. And once made, I'd have it delivered. So when you commit, make sure it's delivered on time. Another example of this would be if someone asked me, let's plan the training for my team starting next week. I don't ask when you are available, because chances are when you ask when are you available, they may not get back to you. Instead, I give them two clear options like, are you free on Saturday, September 27 or Monday, September 29? That way, the decision is no longer if the training will happen, but more of when will it happen. And then competitor comparison. Yes, common question. So when someone compares your supplement to other brands, it means they're seriously thinking about buying and just checking which one is the best fit for them. When someone once asked me to compare Portier with Celogen, I took it as a buying signal. What I did was simple. I didn't put the competitor down. Instead, I said, I can't really vouch for Portier since I haven't read much about it and have not personally experienced it myself. What I know is it's from a deer placenta and some facts. I'll just tell them. I can only vouch for Celergen because I've read the science and I've personally experienced the results for more than 6 years now. So, would you like to experience it too? Or would you like to get started with a youth package or a family package? Yeah, so you can do the closing. And then next is the demo or trial. Oh, this is kind of hard. So when someone asks for a free sample or trial, it's a strong sign they want to experience the product for themselves before deciding to buy. When someone asks me for Celergen samples, I don't give them out. I just explain the company doesn't provide free samples. You need to buy it yourself if you like to try it. Then I would say it's already tested and Celergen is already tested and has been proven. So people usually buy for themselves. Then what do? I follow up on them and ask them how they felt since the effects of Celergen varies from person to person. The next one is referral or sharing interest. Like when you hear them say, I should tell my friend or colleague about this. This already indicates confidence in your product even before buying. So what do I do first when I hear this? As So what do I do first? So first, sign them for membership so that when their friends wants to buy, you can tell them either to buy under you using your membership, or another option is you can buy and become a member under you. So there are two options. So before they share it, yeah, you share these options so that they can choose also. So you guide them. And then positive confirmation statement, saying things like, oh, that's exactly what I need, or this solves my problem. Show clear alignment with your offer. I would say, so how do you like to get started? Or giving options like youth package. Do you like a youth package or a silver associate package like 13 plus 1? And then guide them which is the better option. So recognizing buying signals is like seeing a light bulb switch on. The moment it lights up, you know the consumer is ready. So if you catch it, you can guide them straight to a yes. Answer what they're asking for. Because some people, although there's already like buying signals, they ignore it, or they don't get it and still go into the details of the product, like this, like that, go into long explanation, presentation, until the other person becomes overwhelmed. So what happens? The light bulb switches off and the moment of readiness is gone. Honestly, I experienced this before when I was new. I want to finish all my presentation. Yeah, but then yeah, we all learn from experience. So my takeaway here is, once you recognize the buying signal and act on it right away. Answer their question, guide them to a close while the interest is there. So that's why it's important to recognize the buying signal so that you can close them right away. So the next buying signal is equally important as the verbal buying signal. So this is what we call the non-language, non-verbal, or what we call the body language buying signal. That shows interest even before the consumer says a word. So you have to be observant. So let's watch this short video from a retail store scenario. I believe we can apply these same principles in what we do in Avita. As you watch, pay attention to consumers' body language, like the eye gaze, the posture, the gestures. So keep in mind as you watch together. No? So let's watch together.
A type of signage, your customers are giving you signs through their body language, which is nonverbal communication, such as expressions, gestures, and posture. If you can interpret not just what your customers say, but what their body language tells you, you can go from being a good salesperson to being a great one. There are many subtleties in body language, and it can be complex to actively listen and evaluate nonverbal communication at the same time. But being observant and making adjustments will give you an advantage. Research has shown that 55% of communication is through body language. 38% is tone of voice, and 7% is the actual words. So, what do we look for? Here are some things to consider. The windows to the soul. Yes, we're talking about the eyes and the surrounding area. When people agree with you or are drawn to an object, they tend to maintain eye contact. If they're disinterested, they'll look away, and if they're bored, they may glance around aimlessly. Eyes opening wide indicate interest. Eyes narrowing indicate that the person may be troubled by what he or she sees. A genuine smile will create crinkles around the eyes. Raised or lowered eyebrows indicate disagreement or discomfort. Steady, prolonged eye contact without breaks is not natural, may indicate lying, and can make people uncomfortable. Facial expressions. Some signals of stress or disagreement can be a clenched jaw, a furrowed brow, or the head turned slightly away so the person is looking at you sideways. Watch the mouth. The corners turned up is a good thing, the beginnings of a smile. The corners turned down, not so good. Tightly pressed lips are like closed arms, a warning sign. Posture and gestures. Arms crossed indicate a person is probably closed off to what you're saying. Conversely, open hands and arms are signs that you're doing well. A person leaning forward is probably interested. A person moving away or creating space has a concern. If the shoulders and torso are facing you, you're likely on the same page. Nodding is good, unless it is exaggerated nodding, which can indicate anxiety. Customer movements can also provide you with information. If they're looking around for help, they came in on a mission to buy. Spending a lot of time in front of one product, reaching in their pocket or wallet to see how much money they brought, obviously good things. If they're darting around and not making eye contact with you, they may not be quite ready to buy. Your body language is very important as well. It sends signals to customers. Your signals matter too. You should appear open and approachable by smiling and making eye contact, with some breaks. Mirroring their body language, pace, and movements is possible without being creepy. If they're walking fast, you're walking fast. Same thing with speaking. If they're talking fast, match their pace to a certain extent. Be respectful of their personal space and don't make dominant gestures that could be taken as aggressive. Your positive facial expressions will show that you care and are listening to their needs. If you receive a positive buying signal, act on it and move to close the sale. If something about their demeanor sets off warning bells, ask questions to determine the root cause so you can move forward one way or another.
Okay. So among the many body language signals, these are the ones that I noticed the most. The widening of the eyes with a genuine smile, nodding of the head, and leaning forward. When I see them, I don't ignore them and their cues of interest to buy. And the question then is how to engage and turn those signals into a yes. So like when someone's eyes suddenly open wide when I am presenting, I would say that that's exactly how it helped me with my energy and depends on what your topic is. Do you want to try it also for you to experience it? So if I can see you're smiling after a presentation or while I'm conversing, that's exactly how many people felt when they realize how this can help them. So, how would you like to get started? You can ask that, like a youth package or a silver 13 plus one. And the same goes with nodding and leaning closer. These are non buying verbal signals and meaning they agree and they are ready to buy. So before I was not really mindful of that. So when I was new, I was just concerned of how I can close them without being conscious of their body language. So the key is simple: to catch the signal, acknowledge it, and to guide them to a straight close. So now we go to the closing techniques, and there are many ways to close a sale. Yeah, there are many ways to close a sale, and the best closers know how to mix and match depending on the consumer needs. So the more common closing I use are the first two, the choice close and the T close. They sound similar at first to me, but the choice close and the T close are actually different in how they guide the consumer to a decision. So first, we go to the choice or alternative close. This works best for people who are already ready to buy. And you're just helping them to decide what to buy. So what do you need to do is to give them two options. The question is no longer, will you buy? But which of the two will you buy? So questions like, would you prefer to get the youth package or the 13 plus one? Or do you want to be an SA or a silver associate or a gold associate? And how do you like to pay? Do you want to pay by cash or by card? It's a win-win situation. I placed here the testimony of our MC, PD Net's testimonial. As I remembered before when she was just starting, she just wants to get a family package. So I know she is ready to buy and just guided her how to get it value for money. I gave her a choice. Would you prefer a family package or a gold package? Somehow, I mixed it with the next closing techniques, the T close. I differentiated the pros of getting a GA and cons the family package. So I said to her, if you get, of course, we need to explain so that they will understand. I said to her, PD Net, if you get the family package and decide later on to become a gold distributor, you need 5 more family package to complete your gold package. You will be spending like 350,000 times 5, which is more than almost 2 million. 1.7. But if you buy this gold package now, it saves you 50%. Plus, at the same time, there are freebies when you get this GA now because at that time there was a promo. In short, I was able to guide PDNet to make a decision to get the GA. Then comes this one. Then comes the 6+1 direct PD sprint promotion where I applied to her the T closing spontaneously. I didn't know about this T closing before. It's just that I realized when I was doing this talk that I applied it to her. I did it spontaneously without thinking of what closing technique. I shared to her why direct PD at that time is the best for her, knowing that she wants to be a PD by the end of this year, or last quarter of this year, 2025. So this is important for us leaders to know the goals of our associates or downlines. By doing this together with the team, PDNet was able to decide to get the direct PD earlier as planned this year. So to explain further T closing is simply you draw the letter T, like as you can see in the screen, either mentally or in paper. And this is just a visual way to help someone decide. And these are for consumers who are hesitant or unable to decide yet. So these are those people that you can apply this. Here, the consumer weighs the pros and the cons, with the pros or the benefits clearly outweighing the cons or the doubts. This can also be an example of summary close. So what I did to Net was also a summary of this, as can also be what you call the summary close. After explaining to PDNet, she got a direct PD as she wanted to take advantage of the opportunity given by the company. She wants to get it as less stressful than the regular CPD, which is time bound. She said, it's like you're getting a PD position in advance and then work it out later with team support and you'll get it back. So this is like summarizing all the value. So value for money for her, instead of getting 10 GA, you'll pay 7 GAs. And then you qualified for Japan trip. You have freebies, a lot of freebies like 10 boxes of Celergen, Celeva NGL, summarizing all the benefits. So this is also what we call the summary close. And then we computed what rebates or commissions she'll get. And then she'll also attend the Elite Eagles 2026. And it's truly value for money for her because the benefits she get outweighs the other one. So outweighs the traditional way of getting at the challenge, no? So next we go to the command closing. So this one, sometimes people just need direction. So as leaders, like this before, but education system with the guidance of leaders. Sometimes, I didn't realize that I was doing this spontaneously. So sometimes people just need direction. That's where the command close comes in. If you've built trust, you can guide them clearly with confidence. And here in the Philippines, if you notice, those who have been here in the Philippines, food is such a big part of our culture. Closes don't even happen in a formal presentation, but over a meal in a restaurant or in a coffee shop. That's when the command close works best. You give a clear direction, like go ahead and start with the silver 13+1. It's perfect for you, or go for a gold package if she needs it and she has the capacity to pay. And then you can also say, let's set up today so you can already enjoy the benefit. Here, you don't ask, you lead them. So these people will appreciate the kind of confidence guidance you share with them. And then the next one is the testimonial close. This is, a common closing technique, no? Testimonial close is a closing technique where you use real customer stories or experiences to help your prospect make a decision. Instead of you just saying how good the product is, you show the proof that others have already benefited. The easiest closes often happens when you have testimonials, when they hear that someone like them got results, especially showing the before and the after testimonials is very powerful. So let me share a real story. Someone from downline from Batuan came from Manila for a Celergen product presentation. We started our presentation she interrupted us and said, I want to hear testimonies of people using Celergen. So right there, we paused and gave what she was looking for. So we shared stories about people with hypertension, high cholesterol, low energy, and more, because those were the issues she was personally dealing. So we should know the background of our consumers. So the good news is she's still taking the product up to now. She started actually last May and even shared it with her family who also have positive results. So I can already see her mindset shifting because now she shares it to her friends whenever she can. And today, she's inspired not only by the health benefits, but also by the business opportunity. And she's now eyeing to get a gold package. This is under the team of Lana. And then the sympathy close, also under Lana's team, no? The one I'm showing here often starts with sharing a personal challenge or struggle that makes the prospect relate and feel empathy. But there are other angles you can use this, no? Uh, Here's another story where we're able to close as a team very spontaneously. This was not planned. When I shared my own journey with my son Iggy, who has autism, I was talking to one of the downlines under Lana and Leng, who has a child with autism, 10-year-old child with autism. So I told her how her son reminded me so much of Iggy when he was younger. But now Iggy is more behaved, independent, able to express himself clearly, and very aware of the surroundings. So as I shared this transformation, memories keep flashing back. And I also shared how Iggy has been faithfully taking Celergen in the morning. And at night, he takes Life Biotics and NGF on his own. Sometimes he would just tell me, Mommy, no more NGF or no more Life Biotics. So we guided her family to make a decision because we really felt the need. And they chose, yeah, we closed her and they chose the combination of Celergen, NGF, and Life Biotics totaling to 5,000 PV. And it was truly teamwork. And the best part, we were so happy to hear that her son is taking the products, though they had to cut the soft gel because because the boy, 10-year-old boy, cannot swallow. But still, she was able to take it. And it was just such a fulfilling moment for us. Not only the closing of the sale, but being able to really help another family. And then we have this puppy clothes or puppy dog clothes. It's based on the idea that if someone takes a puppy home, just to try, they'll fall in love with it and won't return it. So in sales, it means letting the consumer try the product or experience the benefits so they can be convinced themselves. So this is what happened to Lila's friend. Of course, my other downlines too, but I'm just showing this so they can experience the benefits for themselves because once they feel the difference, the close happens naturally. And this is straightforward. And then we also have the quality added value close. Is about showing what they get is worth so much more than what they pay. So people hesitate because of the price a lot of times. But when you show them the real value, the cost feels small compared to the gain. So another story where I didn't realize I was already applying the technique happened with one of my downlines who is a senior citizen consumer, and she was initially planning to get just the one in our SG60 promo package, the 6 boxes with free serum and NGF. Then I asked her, Tita, why not get the 13 plus 1? Because she wants only the 6 boxes with serum and NGF. Sabi ko, the 13 plus 1 comes with free Celeva. And she replied, no, I'm using NGF. So I offered, if you want, I can give you 2 boxes of NGF. I applied unknowingly this quality added value, which is very powerful. She ended up buying a family package with 1 Celergen and 1 box of Celeba, which I exchanged internally for 2 boxes of NGF. And she was very happy, and we felt also good knowing that I was able to share the value with her. And then this one, the scare of losing clothes, is about showing what's at stake if they delay. So you create a sense of urgency by showing the prospect what they might lose if they don't take the action. Whether that's a promo or freebies or even for events. When they feel they might miss it out, they're going to push to act. So I use this a lot, especially if we have promos like the event, like the recent one, SG60, with lots of freebies. I let them see the value of the promo, why they need to buy now and not later. I also use these for special events like in our upcoming event, the product experience and the wellness talk the following day by Dr. D. Why it's a must to attend. It's not if you'll not attend, you'll miss out also PA Alvin and DP Tengi who flew all the way from Singapore just to be with us. So the deadline close is all about time. Think of a bell ringing, and the moment it rings, time is up. So in the same way, when we give consumers a deadline, it creates urgency. And nobody wants to miss out on savings, promos, and even better health. Somehow, this is similar to scare of losing clothes. So before we go into the breakout room, I'd like to emphasize that closing is not just about winning a sale. It's about serving people. It's helping them reach home plate where their home improves, their needs are met, and their goals become a reality. And just like baseball, the more you step up to the plate, the more natural and confident your closing becomes. Okay, so now let's go into the breakout room with each one of us to share their most successful closing. We'll allot like 30 minutes for this. So thank you everyone for sharing openly in the breakout room. I believe we all learned from each other's perspective and experiences in effective closing. But let's be reminded that this closing buying signal is not only for consumers, but also for business partners, for business. So let's keep practicing, keep closing, and most of all, keep helping people say yes to better health and better life. So I'd like to end this talk with a quote for a while. I'll share. I'd like to end this talk with this quote. Great salespeople are relationship builders who provide value and help their consumers win. That ends my talk. Back to you, PD Nanette.